Welcome back to the Girlies Guide for Surviving College Football Season. This is where I'm breaking down each week's college football games, that way you know when and when not to bother your significant other, and so you can pretend like you know what's going on, that way you can be a part of the conversation too. This week we have a few key games that you need to be aware of, so let's break it down. First things first, at 12 p.m. Eastern or 11 a.m. Central, Ohio State is going on the road to play Illinois. Ohio State is currently ranked number 1, and this will be the best road game of the year for Ohio State, and it'll be their first ranked game since Texas. So if your significant other cares about rankings at all, he'll probably want to keep his eye on this one. Next, Alabama is playing Missouri. Alabama just had back-to-back wins versus Georgia and Vanderbilt, so it'll be interesting to see if they can keep it going. If Alabama or Missouri aren't his teams, he'll probably want to keep an eye on this one, but you're good to watch it in public, or he's good to watch it on his phone. Now, if he is a fan of Alabama, he's going to want to be sat for this one, because this is going to be a really tough 3-week stretch for Alabama. Next, at 3:30 Eastern or 2:30 Central, Indiana goes on the road to play Oregon. This is a huge game for both teams. He's probably going to want to be sat in front of some sort of TV to watch this one. Watching on his phone is probably not going to be good enough for him. This is a really big game for Indiana because they beat Illinois a few weeks ago, and now they have to go on the road and see if they can beat Oregon. It's also a big game for Oregon because they beat Penn State a couple weeks ago, but with Penn State losing last week to UCLA, this is kind of a prove-it game for them. Next, in my opinion, the biggest game of all this weekend is Texas versus Oklahoma at the Cotton Bowl. Texas must win this game against Oklahoma if they want to be in the playoffs this year. With this being a classic rivalry game, you should expect it to be intense, and you should expect your significant other to want to watch this one. It's also going to be intense because Oklahoma will likely be playing without their starting quarterback. If you want to ask some thought-provoking questions to your significant other, you can just ask him, what do you think is going to happen in the Red River rivalry game? And he'll probably go off for about 15 to 20 minutes. Lastly, at 7 p.m. Eastern or 6 p.m. Central, Florida plays at A&M. Now, Florida is coming off of just beating Texas, which was a huge win for them, so it'll be interesting to see if they can keep it up. Or as my husband likes to say, was it just 1 week of magic? And then lastly, Michigan goes on the road to play USC. Throughout this season, Big Ten teams traveling to the West Coast have seemed to be an issue, i.e. Penn State and UCLA last week. So this will be a good road game to test Michigan, and it'll be interesting to see if USC can actually step up. All in all, there are a few good games that he's going to want to keep his eye on, but just make sure he's actually in front of a TV in the late afternoon, early evening, and you should be good to go. That's it for today, girls, and I'll see you next week.